Have you ever wondered what it takes to build an automotive empire and then almost lose it all? The story of General Motors is a roller coaster of ambition, innovation, colossal mistakes, and an improbable resurrection. Brand origin: year 1908. Flint, Michigan. A name resonates strongly: William C. Durant. Visionary, born salesman, and somewhat eccentric. Durant had already succeeded with horse-drawn carriages, and now he had a new goal: to dominate the automotive industry, which at that time was a wild and fragmented field. Durant was not an engineer or a mechanic. He was a master of finance and an expert in buying companies. His idea was simple: to merge the leading car manufacturers under a single flag. Thus, General Motors was born. Early years. The beginnings were turbulent. Durant was a genius at creating deals, but a disaster at managing daily operations. His aggressive expansion strategy led him to indebt the company up to its ears. In 1910, the banks took control and Durant was ousted. But Durant did not give up. Together with race car driver Louis Chevrolet, he founded a new company, Chevrolet. With more accessible cars and a focus on the mass market, Chevrolet became a resounding success. In 1916, Durant used the profits from Chevrolet to regain control of General Motors. The irony couldn't be greater. Now, Durant had the power and the vision to transform GM. He created a modern corporate structure, introduced the idea of annual models, and segmented the market with different brands: Chevrolet for the people, Pontiac for the middle class, Oldsmobile for those looking for something more, Buick for the successful, and Cadillac for the wealthy. Growth and expansion. The 1920s were GM's golden decade. Alfred Sloan, Durant's successor, perfected the management model, and the company became an unstoppable giant. Innovations such as automatic transmission, annual design changes, and mass advertising catapulted GM to global leadership. During World War II, GM became an arsenal for the Allies, manufacturing tanks, aircraft, and engines. After the war, the company capitalized on the economic boom and the growing demand for automobiles. The 1950s and 60s were a time of abundance and optimism, personified in the iconic designs of Cadillac, Chevrolet Corvette, and Pontiac GTO. But complacency and lack of vision began to erode GM's position. The oil crisis of the 70s and the growing competition from Japanese manufacturers exposed the company's weaknesses: low-quality cars, obsolete designs, and a bureaucratic corporate culture. Brand myth or legend. This is where the urban legend comes in. It is said that in the 80s, a GM engineer discovered a revolutionary technology that allowed engines to run on water. The company, fearing losing control of the automotive industry and the oil business, supposedly bought the patent and buried it forever. Truth or fiction? The story has never been proven, but the idea of a corporate conspiracy to hide disruptive technologies resonates strongly in the popular imagination. Current situation. In 2009, General Motors filed for bankruptcy. A symbol of American capitalism fell spectacularly. The United States government intervened with a massive bailout, but the company had to radically restructure. GM sold brands like Hummer, Saab, and Pontiac, closed factories, and laid off thousands of employees. The company was reborn from its ashes, focusing on more efficient vehicles, electric technology, and emerging markets. Today, General Motors is a more agile and competitive company, but still faces major challenges such as the transition to electric mobility and competition from new players in the industry. The story of General Motors is a mirror of the history of the United States: ambition, innovation, prosperity, decline, and resurgence. It is a story of how vision can build empires, but arrogance can destroy them. Because sometimes, behind a simple logo, there is a whole story that few know. Did you enjoy this dive into the history of General Motors? Subscribe to our channel to discover more myths and brands that have shaped the world we live in.